Welcome to the Positively Healthy Mom podcast, where positive parenting meets well-being. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Positively Healthy Mom. I'm your host, Laura Ollinger, and today I'm so excited to introduce you to a really awesome guest. I can hardly wait. Her name is Nicole Van Valin. I got it right? Nicole Van Valin, who she just has all sorts of a background. She's a therapist. She's got all these cool credentials. And so I'm going to let her take it from here so she can explain who she is, what she brings to the table.
Oh, thank you so much, Laura, for having me here. I'm so excited. Yes, my name's Nicole Van Valin, not Van Halen. People call me Van Halen all the time, by accident. It's fun. So I am a licensed family therapist. I'm also a SHRM senior certified professional. I'm an executive and is all around known for being a joyful leader. And I've had about 25 years of experience in healthcare and behavioral health. And so I've taken all of that experience along with working within a Fortune 7 company um, across departments from financial and procurement to learning and performance, learning and development to employee assistance programs. So I've done so many different things and brought and rounded that out. And then another side of myself, which I'll talk about further, is I'm a former NFL cheerleader and NBA dancer. And while I was climbing the corporate ladder, I had that as my resilience resource. So my joy in life is to help other people find their particular resilience resource through activities to help them be successful.
Yes, I love that. And that's why I was excited to have you as a guest, because you just bring all these unique perspectives to the conversation. And I just knew it was going to be a good, fun conversation to have. So tell us, what can we share with moms as far as kind of your messaging, your framework? You have a very cool framework that I got a chance to look at and learn about. How can you help moms with this?
Yeah, so the framework is called Ready, Set, Go. So it's really easy to remember. And it's really just helping moms figure out what is their joy-powered performance that they can do because we wear so many different hats as moms, regardless of the age of your child. Like my kids are now in college, but they're still calling me up and saying, "Mom," whether I'm their counselor or their therapist or their nurturer, whatever it is. So we're always going to be there for other people as a mom. And I think it's really important to figure out ways to identify how to be there for yourself and not feel guilty about it. And knowing that when you take care of yourself, you're actually doing a service to everyone else around you. So the framework is, like I said, ready, set, go. So ready
Mhm.
is basically identifying what your joys are, what resilience looks like to you as you're parenting and as you're leading. Because as a parent, we are leaders. We're modeling the way for our kids. And then when they see you getting ready and finding your joy, that gives your kids permission to say, "Oh, I can find things that I like to do. And I can look for ways to care for myself." So you're basically modeling the way. And then set is where you design the landscape, you design systems for yourself and your family. That could be the routines, the spaces that you hold, creating boundaries for yourself. So I could say, I'll just say my boundary is when I'm working and I have a home office, I tell them, at 5 o'clock when I'm done, I just want to have a cup of hot chai. So that means, and I explain, that means I want to get up from my office, go quietly into the kitchen, make my tea, come back quietly to my office, and not be bothered for 15 minutes. And then I'll be good and everyone else will be good for the rest of the evening if I can have my 15 minutes. So
Mhm.
it's about supporting your emotional well-being. And then go is when you implement these micro tools that can help you perform without burnout. So you're focused on your goal, whatever that is for yourself or your family or in your work environment, and moving that forward.
I love that. I love it all. I love it all. I don't even know where to start. But where do you feel like people get tripped up the most?
with finding out with taking care of themselves and alleviating burnout, you mean?
In any of the ready, set, go part, I mean, like, is there one of those that is harder for people, or is it just like, tell me about your experience as far as coaching people
Yeah,
through that model?
that's such a good question. Okay, thank you for clarifying. So I would think that the hardest thing is the ready part. When some people don't even know that they're stressed or burnt out. So
Mm,
that's first self-awareness of
mm,
understanding that you are stressed and burnt out and what are those signs? And then two, what do you enjoy? I remember giving a presentation at a leadership retreat, and I was speaking to the CFO during the break, and she couldn't even think about what she enjoyed. Like she was like, "Oh, strategy! I love strategy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I like strategy too." But what do you like to do outside of work that can re-energize you, refuel you, and then you can go back into your work or home environment, and you begin to shape that environment based on the energy that you bring to it in a
mm.
positive way. So I would say getting ready is the hardest thing. And then once you get ready, like you feel like a new person. So you can step into any landscape and make adjustments.
Yeah. So what would that look like on a micro level? So I heard you talk about habits and routines and setting the environment. What does that look like? I guess what I'm saying is like on a day-to-day basis. So think of most of my listeners have moms of teens and tweens. So we're in the thick of it. We're not doing the little kid stuff anymore. Our kids are self-sufficient, but we are still busy because they've got activities and sports, and we still have to kind of manage the family calendar, manage, the home and the food and all that, all the things, like you said, we wear so many hats. It's like hard to think of something that we don't do, to be honest. But, how does that play into like just daily life is what I'm asking.
Oh, yes, that's a wonderful question. So I have this thing called the joy menu.
Oh,
And this is something that people can write down the things that bring them joy. It doesn't have to be something like going to Fiji or Cabo or something big. It
yeah.
can be at different levels. So, one of the simplest things that we can do is take 3 deep breaths. It takes 3 seconds and it's allowing yourself time to do it. You can even do it while something's going on. Like your kids could be um, complaining about something, or you could be in the car ride in between, you know, picking them up from school to something that they're doing a sports afterwards, and taking those deep breaths that are really intentional, where
Mhm.
you breathe all the way down to your stomach, expand it, hold it, and then you breathe out 3 times. You could do it with your eyes closed or open, and you would be amazed how re-energized you feel after
Mhm.
taking 3 deep breaths. I gave
Mhm.
you the example of chai tea for myself. Other
Okay.
people might be coffee. Other people could be just going outside for 15 minutes and feeling the sun on your face and being in nature.
Mhm.
Everyone has different things. And then you can do other things that increase the time. So one of the newer things, because I'm not dancing all the time because I'm a little older now, but
Yeah.
some of the things that I like to do now is play golf,
Oh,
and so that's something that takes half a day, or if you're just going to go to the driving range, that could be an hour. So figure out what that is. But the most important thing is to schedule at least 15 minutes in your day. Like I call that dessert first. 'Cause growing up, my mom used to let us eat dessert first.
okay.
I still kind of do it to this day, and I let my kids do it too. But
Uh-huh.
I took that mentality of like, okay, we need to pre-schedule our dessert first, whatever that is that brings us joy into our daily schedule. And that is your protected private time that you're going to do something you enjoy,
Mhm.
whatever that is. And if you need more than 15 minutes, like a half an hour to watch a show, or take a drive, whatever that is, I challenge everyone to give yourself the gift of 15 minutes a day to do something that you enjoy.
I love that challenge. I am definitely going to take you up on that. And I love the concept of the dessert first because so many times we do it in that opposite direction where we just take whatever slivers of time we have left for ourselves and try to fit in something enjoyable. But yes, if we can pre-schedule that. And I love how, to me, that brings in that executive leadership part of you too, because, in an executive environment, it's, there's schedules, there's meetings, there's things that, are a little bit more structured than maybe just, a non in-office type person, where if you either work from home or you're an author or a blogger, or maybe you don't have outside employment, but you're still the CEO of the household, right? It's like we kind of sometimes lack that structure. And so I like the idea of like creating structure. And that's something that too, I've been kind of thinking and playing with lately is, you mentioned just the modeling and stuff. And that's something I, think about all the time. But just like the proactive approach is something that I've been kind of just playing more into lately, because a lot of times I think when we just get overwhelmed, we become those reactive people and we kind of just deal with the problems. And then all of a sudden we're so flooded and we're so overwhelmed. And so, the idea is that we can really prevent a lot of that from happening by keeping just a more even keel, a more even just kind of pace in life, and just being more proactive and intentional, no matter what that is, whether it's the dessert concept, the joy concept, or really anything else. Because I liked something that you said earlier about setting the tone intentionally for your household. Kind of the thing I've been playing with a lot lately is just, what is the culture that I want to be in my household? Just like an executive environment, like there's company culture, and then there's also household culture. But then like, what are the values? And I know that kids learn values no matter what, but it's like, are we being intentional with the values that we want them to learn? Because sometimes I think if we're not, they end up learning something that we're like, oh, they're kind of picking up on something that's not the best version of me. And so therefore it trickles down. So anyway, I kind of just said a whole bunch back at you. What kind of
That was awesome what you said, Laura, because as you were speaking, I was like, oh my gosh, I had all of these flashbacks of, because I have a daughter. She's going to be 22 next month and in college. And sometimes she'll say certain things and I'm like, why did you say that? She's like, I got it from you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, is that my example? So it could be positive or it could be like, oh, I need to make some changes.
yeah.
So it's kind of nice to see that you do have positive influence with your kids. Sometimes you don't see it, especially with the tweens and teens. Like I really thought my kids were aliens at that time, but we're best friends now. So it's kind of that awkward phase of what the relationship really looks like between a parent and child during that particular time. Um, but it's also so rewarding when you start to see glimmers of them modeling your way in such a positive way, right? And then they also mirror things that, oh, maybe there's some things that I need to change about myself because I'm observing particular behavior and or opening up conversations for that. That drives me to this other thing that your listeners will be able to have. It's like a complimentary gift.
Okay.
It's called the Sphere of Resilience Assessment that I have.
Okay.
And it's on my website for people to have, but it's a tool that helps us understand like where we are with our resilience, like where we're really strong, where we might be leaking in certain areas where there are gaps. And it's across
Mm-hmm.
eight, no, I think it's 10 across 10 different domains. So we can adapt our motherhood to it, our marriage, our careers. So it'll talk about financial resilience, emotional resilience, physical, like all parts of you as a holistic person. And these are the things we need to check into so we can be, like you said, preventative and proactive. So if we have something in front of us that says, okay, these are our strengths, we want to keep doing those and modeling the way. And then here are some areas to improve. Then we know exactly what to focus on and be intentional about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And okay, I have this is totally random. Idea for AI, which is like, I feel like the next level is helping with the scheduling, because I have all these pieces of my life and they all need some attention. And so I do try to prioritize, but I wish it could just do it for me and put it in my calendar.
Seriously, actually, I think there are tools like that. I have to research it. I'm
Yeah.
kind of old school, so I'm still using like my planner and I kind of like have pens that are color coded. So like green is for my extended family, pink is for me because I enjoy it. And then like my daughter has blue because that's her favorite color. But it organizes it in an agenda. You can
Mhm.
also transfer that over to like your Google Calendar, whatever calendar you use.
Yeah.
And the color coding is really nice because it helps me with my stress levels. When I was in corporate America, I realized that, and I would write anything for work in black, in the black pen. And when I looked at my agenda throughout, everything was black. Like I hardly had anything pink for myself,
Mm.
hardly anything blue. I mean, purple for my husband or blue for my daughter, like green for the. So it was all black. And I was like, oh my goodness, no wonder I feel burnt out and stressed out is because I'm only focusing on this. And good thing I had some other outliers, but my main drive was that. And then over time, I became intentional about filling up the spaces with more pink for me, or filling up more spaces with the blue for the kids, and having quality time with the purple for my husband. So I started to be a little bit more intentional and holistic so that my agenda book would show me the colors. It would show me my culture that I was creating for myself.
Mm.
um, and work is not everything. It's important, but it's not everything. Like we want to be present for our kids and our family outside of work.
I love, and I'm such a visual person, so I just love that concept. And not only for moms, but this is such a great kind of tool. I mean, color coding has been around for a long time, but just the idea of like even like the meaning that you put with the colors. And I think
Mhm.
that I try to do that a little bit with, but like the idea of being able to look at it visually and seeing kind of like how your life is going according to what colors, like that. I haven't thought of that before, and I just love that concept. So what I was thinking is that is such also a beautiful tool and metaphor to share with our kids, whether it's the teenagers who are really self-sufficient with their time management, or college kids, with
Mm.
how they're balancing their time. Because I know I've been coaching a lot of college kids lately, and they can easily get out of kind of balance with how they're managing their time. So any other thoughts about that, or any other just like tips on how to like really achieve this balance that you're talking about?
Well, I wanted to piggyback on what you said about the college kids and the time management, if I can remember what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That, oh, this is what we were talking about. So, um, my son, he is in college. He just started. He's a freshman, and he has straight A's. He does all of these sports activities, like everything. And we were like, how is he managing all of this? And
Mhm.
what I realized is because of the sports and the other activities, those are his joys. He is refueled by that so that he
Mm.
can go back into study and go to class and do those things. And he calls it locking in. So when it's time to study, he locks in, and then
Mhm.
when it's time for sports, he locks into that. So he's very intentional about what he's focusing on each item. And then holistically, he's able to manage all of those colors for himself.
I think, thank you. It's actually helping me right now because over the weekend, I've noticed, so my kids are a bit younger, they're high school, but, my freshman son is such a social butterfly. Like he
Mm.
is gone all weekend. He is with friends all weekend and spending the night and then spending the night. And I really had a big talk with him yesterday evening because I'm like, dude, it's Sunday night. You have school tomorrow. You've been gone all weekend. Like you've been doing all these things. And I'm happy he's having fun. I said, we really need to kind of like think about what are your priorities and values. And it's important to me that he goes to church and he's been skipping church and all these things. And so he's like, oh, we had to talk about it. And it was nice. It was just a nice dialogue. But what I'm realizing now is that is his fuel, right? He is so that's
Mhm.
his fuel. He's fueling up for the week. And so it's literally helping me think of it in a completely different way instead of being upset about it. He's getting his fuel. And as compared to my other kids who are more, they like to be at home more. They like to be in their own bed. They don't like to sleep out, at sleepovers very much. And so that's their fuel, right? Because we have that side of it. Some of us have that side too, where that's where we get it. And so it's just important to, I guess, identify that and come up with what your strategies are, and then making sure we're getting the balance and getting the fuel. So any last kind of reflections on that part, or just even more strategies on finding the joy, or any other tips?
Yeah, so when you talked about fueling, immediately I was thinking about how different people are. Some
Mhm.
people are introverts, meaning they get their energy from being alone and recuperating that way. And some people are extroverts where they get their energy from being around other people. And it
Right.
doesn't mean introverts can't be around other people. It's just after a certain amount of time, their energy is, gone and they have to refuel. So
Mhm.
everyone refuels differently. But I was thinking about when it was COVID time and being a mental health therapist, I was like, okay, rally the troops. We're going to get up at 7 a.m. and do yoga. And then we're going to do that. And I had this whole plan and itinerary. I don't even like yoga, but we were doing it. And then finally, the kids were like, we don't want to do this. So
Mhm.
everyone found their own joy. So my daughter ordered art supplies online. The boys are playing video games with their friends in different states. My husband was playing board games. I was walking the dog and being in nature and gardening. So we realized that everyone has different joys and different ways of refueling to get them to be at a peaceful place, like in their surrounding or the culture of their home, or it can be taken into work, and then they can go and deliver on whatever goals they have. So the real big tip is to discover if you're stressed and burnt out, number one, and then trying to figure out over time what are the things you like to do. And as things change or seasons change, you'll develop new things that bring you that sense of joy so that you can go out and do the things that you enjoy doing and need to do in your home and at work.
Okay. So normally I ask my guests what their takeaway is, but I feel like I'm having a takeaway, so I just have to share it. I almost am thinking of joy now is such an action item, more of like a verb. Like I didn't used to think of it that way, but now it's like there's something about it that now feels more empowering. Like I have it in my control, where I can like we talked about this whole time, like plan and schedule the joy so that way I can have that, and it doesn't have to be like I'm left to, if I happen to come across joy today, great, right? But I can like seek it out intentionally. So that's where I'm wrapping up for me. What about you? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, so basically what you're saying, like you deserve joy and you don't have to wait till the weekend or a vacation to have the joy. You deserve to recover forward. You don't have to just push or power through things to try to get to the joy. Like you can create it and infuse it into your daily life. And that's kind of what my work is all about, is helping moms and leaders bring strategy to their well-being. So you don't have to kind of like white knuckle it, push through it. This is a better way. And some of the ways that if the readers want to figure out more tools and more strategies about how to do that, everything, like I'm saying, everything is in my book, The Joyful Leader. What I've heard from people that have read it is that it reads like a novel, but it's also like a textbook because it has all of the peer-reviewed research in there, interviews from experts in sports and philanthropy and entertainment are, are all involved. So I would enjoy if people get an opportunity to learn more about the book, and they can go to my website at keeninsights.com/book. And there's just a wealth of information there at the website that I can share with you.
Okay, well, I'm a huge reader, so I'm definitely going to get that book. I can't wait to read it, and we'll be sure to include the link to your website in the show notes so people can just click so easily. Well, Nicole, thank you so much. This was such a great conversation. I really enjoyed it today.
Oh, thank you. This was so much fun. You brightened my day today.
Thank you. Vice versa. All right, take care. Bye.